Hello everybody, this is GeGe from GeGe Yoga. So today is my first book-centered video, and I wanted to speak every month about the books that I've read that month that relate to yoga, wellness, meditation, anything in that sort of space, nutrition, because I know that is something that a lot of other people are interested in as well, and I'm trying to consume more of that sort of material and expand my mind and expand my knowledge. The best way to do that is to read. So this is the first of my wellness book clubs. This will be for January. I'm a little bit late, but better late than never, and I really hope you enjoy it. So I've got 3 books to talk about in today's video. The first one is Think Like a Monk by Shetty. So this is a relatively recent release, I believe. I've never read anything by Jay before, but he did 21 days of meditation live on his Instagram back in the first lockdown. Depressing. Last March, and he did a 20-minute meditation every day, and I just fell in love with his energy and with his mindset. And I'd never really properly meditated before. I dabbled in it but never really quite got the point, and he threw me into it. I fell in love with it after that. So when he brought this book out, Think Like a Monk, I knew I had to get to it. So Think Like a Monk speaks from Jay Shetty's experience of being a monk, which I thought was a really cool point of view, because I've read other books about spirituality and Buddhism, and this was the most accessible and actionable of those books that I've read. Jay has lots and lots of ideas for the ways that you could alter your life in small ways to make yourself feel better mentally, physically, but also spiritually, and not in an intimidating way. He's not asking you to align your chakras. He's not asking you to smoke sage in every room. He is saying, here are a couple of things that you could do. He includes journaling prompts. There's a lot of little blocks that say try this, and with ideas for how to meditate. There's some breathwork session breakdowns. There's lists that you can make, gratitude lists, lists that maybe explore why you react certain ways, why you do the things that you do. If you're a naturally angry person, getting to the root of that, and all in non-intimidating, actionable, approachable ways. He is a really good writer. Some bits I laughed out loud, very funny guy, British, which I love, and all-round good guy. Like, you can tell he's a good man. He admits to past mistakes, he admits to current mistakes. He's very real and down to earth despite all of his success, and this one was a 5 out of 5 for me. Big fan. It's changed a lot of my thinking patterns. Second book. So second book was Period Power by Maisie Hill. Now, as I become more physically aware, more mentally aware, of course that comes as a woman with being more aware of your menstrual cycle, and my menstrual cycle, this is too much information, has always been difficult. It's always been very on and off. I wanted to know why. I wanted to know why some months I'm on my period for 2 weeks, and some months I don't get it at all. And she really breaks it down for you. She explains the cycle split up into seasons. Your period is winter, and the time when you feel probably the best, the most alive, the most well away from your period is summer, and she goes through each of the seasons and explains how you may be feeling in each one, what's happening in your body in each one, and explains how to manually track your cycle. She encourages you to journal, and if not journal, write down just a few words each day, and over the months the idea is that you get a clearer idea of what's happening in specifically your body, because everybody everybody's different. Full disclosure, I use the pill. I don't want no babies. Not just yet anyway. And she speaks a lot about birth control. For her personally, she would rather we don't use any, but she understands that, you know, it's a choice for some of us. But I think the point of view she's trying to put across is that it doesn't have to be the only choice. You can just track naturally also. I loved, she's clearly writing from a very feminist point of view. It's hard to write a book about periods and not write from that point of view. She speaks about trans periods, which was really interesting as subject matter I'd never really even thought about, and you know, I should think about that. So yeah, trans period. She talks about black feminism, which is great, loads of stuff about that, and different ways that periods are seen throughout the ages. So all of that information was super interesting. The downside for me for this book is obviously she's trying to write this for every kind of woman. So there were huge sections about people who are trying for a baby, who are struggling to have a baby. For me personally, that's not the vibe. I'm over here trying to not get pregnant. So I had to miss out quite big clumps of the book which were relating to that, which is absolutely not her fault. I'm so glad that she's able to address those things for those women. It just means that whatever kind of woman you are, you're probably going to be skipping a couple of pages here and there. So that was probably like a strong 3.5 out of 5. 0.5's allowed. Last book. So the last book was The Diet Myth by Tim Spector. So I have heard Tim Spector on a podcast that I really enjoy called Feel Better, Live More, by Dr. Rangan Chatterjee, who's an Indian doctor, Indian-British doctor, who does a really great podcast. I will link that in the notes. He had this guest, which was Tim Spector, and I thought he spoke really wonderfully about nutrition and food, and I wanted to know more, so I picked up The Diet Myth by him. So Tim Spector in this book debunks, I think it's 10 diet myths, or 10 things that we've been told all of our lives about diet. So for example, one of the biggest ones that he debunks is fats are bad, and he goes through exactly why fats aren't bad. Some are, and some are absolutely not. He speaks a lot about the virtues of things like olive oil and the Mediterranean diet, and the virtues of red wine and of cheese and all of that sort of stuff. He's coming from a point of view of expertise about the gut microbes and microbiome, which was interesting. I didn't know a huge amount about that, so it was nice to hear about it, and how everything in the end, nutrition-wise, relates back to creating healthy bacteria in the gut, and this will have a positive impact on your health. So loads of stuff in there that I didn't know, that I didn't learn when I trained to be a nutritional advisor. It wasn't in our syllabus. I know that it's a growing topic of scientific nutritional research, and quite new really. It's only just properly being explored as a reason why some people may be able to eat certain ways whilst others may not suit the same diet. So for example, full disclosure, I'm vegan. For me, it's for ethical and sustainability reasons. I have no issues with meat eaters at all. I was a lifelong meat eater, used to love a steak. But for me, the vegan diet works. I found ways to make it work, but I know that for some people, for their particular bodies, for their microbiome, it doesn't work, and that's totally okay. And this goes into the reasons for that a lot more, and this was a 5 out of 5. Highly recommend. Very funny guy. Openly admits his own mistakes. He's put out research papers before that he openly admits were incorrect, which I loved. Like, I love a guy that can say, do you know what, I was wrong, let's try this again. And he might say that he's wrong again in 10 years time, because that's how science works, it just keeps moving. So really appreciated this book. So that's the 3 books for January. I realise that we are well into the first week of February. I hope to have a book club book for you, a book club video for you by the end of this month. I've already started reading and I'm already excited to talk to you about the book that I've started. So thank you very much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to message me on my Instagram or leave a comment down below if you've read any of these books, if you would like to read any of these books, and I will link them below. Thank you very much, everybody. Bye.